Hello there and welcome to another members video. Just thought I'd talk about last night's stream, which was, in my opinion, one of the most strangest streams I think I've been a part of for quite a long time. Truth be told, it went from a jovial, fun / semi-serious conversation about the Elite FPL community and, you know, like having an open discussion about potentially doing an Elite FPL meet in the future and whatnot, to one of the most bizarre, strangest interactions of conversation between Jason, myself and Edgeworth, to the point where an individual then decides to come on that hasn't been with us for 5 years to tell us what he's thinking about his team, to ask for advice, to get advice, to say, I'm not interested in your advice, I'm sticking with my plan, for then Jason to come along and tell him exactly what I've just told him, to say, yeah, I'll do that. To then going on with Brian's conversation about FPL content and just YouTube in general and where it's going. Just absolute madness. A bit like the London traffic at the moment. Well, not specifically the London traffic. The traffic in my area at the moment. Gridlock. Awful. It actually truly is horrific. To the point of where, just to give you the most basic of examples, there's a stretch of road right outside of a school, and they are planning, which is a lot of boroughs in London are doing, they're planning on shutting off this road between certain times that school's opening and closing. Put cameras up, of course, because you won't be allowed to drive down there. And they've put out a survey to ask about the residents' opinions on this. And essentially the easiest way to solve the problem, and it is literally the easiest way, is you make the left-hand lane double yellow lines, and that's it. That's how it will improve that's how it will improve the free flow of the traffic. However, they're deciding, nope, we don't want any traffic down here at all, because we want to make money, like all London boroughs do. We want to make as much money as we can. Well, right now, there's Roadworks at another school about a mile away. And the traffic is in such gridlock at the moment that where this road is just outside from me, to cover I'm sure there's someone saying that's nothing, but to cover a 100 metre stretch of road, it would take half an hour. Now, yes, there are ways for me to avoid that, but to get to where I would need to go. However, that route there is the easiest way to get to a specific location. But the roads at the moment are that bad that it's taken... So normally by 9 o'clock, the road's busy, but it's slowly dying off. And then by 9:30, 10, this area is, within reason, quiet. And you can drive from A to B in a normal time. It was 9 o'clock just a minute ago after I come back from Lidl's, and it was just non-moving traffic. I counted 10 buses just on the road waiting to move because they can't move because of, guess what? Yellow box junctions. Or because of just a set of traffic lights a mile away, or roadwork traffic lights. It's awful. It really is. I mean, Andy, I'm pretty certain it's Andy Chats FPL. It won't be Andy Let's Talk FPL. But either way, Andy in the Discord on the members chat said, it sounds like you need to leave London. I've never heard you talk positively about it. And look, the truth of the matter is that I have not been happy in London since the whole coronavirus thing. My life took a massive hit where Tesco's decided we are not going to be giving any overtime to anybody. and I was pretty much just doing my contract hours. Happens a lot in retail. Certain periods of time they choose to stop all overtime, and then you have to work your contract hours. But because there are so many people that just do flexi contracts, which are essentially 7 hours up to 15, you will only be allowed to come in to do that 7 hours, or the 10 hours, or the 15, or whatever it is, whatever your contract is. And, you know, without going over it, the shift leader job role came up, and I thought, do you know what? It's a guaranteed 30, I think it was guaranteed 32 hours. It's something I've kind of always wanted to look at, and yeah, fuck it. But this was like at the peak of coronavirus. And yeah, from that moment onwards, obviously prior to the coronavirus stuff, it was shit anyway. I get that. But when doing the shift leader role and having to deal with all of that, along with the hours that I was doing and the way they were treating not just myself, but another friend of mine, she was getting shat on even worse than me. It was just a nightmare. Just an absolute nightmare. Working there was absolute misery because the person in charge at the time didn't want to be there. He had to travel from, bloody hell, all the way from Kent. So his travel in the morning alone was taking him an hour and a half. Just in the morning to get to work, an hour and a half by car. And he deliberately chose to come in early to get there for roughly 6:30. So he's leaving his house at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's still taking him an hour and a half to get into work. Yet when he left, it would take him, he told me it took him about 2 to 2.5 hours just to get home. And the majority of that journey was just having to go through central London. Now that could apply to anybody, I get that. But he was just a miserable bastard. He didn't want to be there. None of the management, they were all just miserable as well. And it ruined it, like I said, for a lot of people, it ruined us completely mentally. And I was hit for 6. And, you know, you fast forward to 2023. And like I said, because of the whole cost of living crisis and various other things that are going on in this world which are affecting Britain, you're just pretty much just living in existence. I know Jason talks openly about things like this, about people that just living in existence. I mean, you know, I work with people that are really bad. Like we're talking like every single day right now. They work 12 to 14 hour shifts, pretty much 5, 6, maybe even 5, 6 days a week, if not every day. 12 to 14 hour shifts. Imagine that. Because they're just doing it just to exist, just to live. Like I said, sometimes I do treasure what I've got, truth be told. But it does get to you after a while. And when I'm walking up from Lidl at the moment, it's only it's literally just a 10-minute walk. But it is the most unpleasant walk, and it's just misery. I'm a miserable bastard, full stop. But, you know, when I'm surrounded by people, or I'm in a place where, you know, I can be at peace with myself, I can actually smile. You know, take the FPL meets. I know it was a social occasion, I get it. But I was genuinely in a place where I'm surrounded by really like-minded people. We're you know, engaged with one another because of a hobby that we take seriously. And we're watching football. And we're also here because a podcast that we enjoy is also doing a live show. Brilliant. How often does that happen for most people? Once every 3 months? I don't know. You know, even in my place of work, like, my happy time is pretty much, and this sounds terrible, but like, it's pretty much between 4 till 7. Because why? Because I'm pretty much left to my own devices. And I don't mean, oh, he's just going to sit in a canteen and just stare at his phone. No. I mean, I can just, right, let's just go out in a tug, drive around and collect bins. And then once it gets specifically on, I love Tuesdays is probably my favourite day, because Tuesdays is what? It's FPL Juice Day. And because FPL Juice is on at 6 o'clock, it means that I'm able for that last hour just to have a laugh and enjoy my hour of work then. But also the people that I'm working with as well, they're down to earth, and you can never, have a bit of a laugh with them and just chat shit about whatever. But, as I was discussing with my mum yesterday, I just cannot believe I'm in a job which I've discussed to death about, which is so easy, but people make it so fucking difficult. Specifically the management. I genuinely can't understand how you can make taking a package from your base and walking up the road, how can you make that stressful? Because there's been many occasions when a supervisor has said to me something and I'm just thinking to myself, stop patronising me, just give me the fucking package and I'll just walk up the road. What is the need for you stressing about this? It's just weird and grim, and I don't get it. And what the fuck has this got to do with last night's stream on FPL? I don't know, is the simple answer. I've got a team up on screen at the moment, and I suppose doing the phone calls does make you think about your team, and up on screen is where I'm looking at for game week 14. So game week 13's done. I've done my transfers for that. I don't need to do anything. It is Bowen in for Matoma. That was done. Well, it seems like weeks ago now, but that was done. But certainly with the individual Brian that we had on last night talking about Awoniyi and what he's wanting to do with the Man City assets getting towards game week 18. Certainly from my personal perspective, looking at Nottingham Forest, as I have mentioned regarding the goalkeepers, their goalkeeper is certainly one to look at with their fixtures, with Brighton at home, good fixture, I think. Everton, 2 home games in Brighton and Everton. They've then got Fulham away, Wolves away. Wolves away in the next 4 is probably their hardest fixture, in my opinion. Tottenham at home, horrible, low-scoring game. Bournemouth at home, good fixture. Newcastle away. I think so. They got 2 very difficult fixtures in Wolves and Newcastle are their hardest fixtures in the next 7. Their game against Tottenham at their place. Well, we know that their ground is an absolute fortress. In game week 18, their match is against Bournemouth at home. And you know what? If on deadline day, now I'm now thinking aloud here, if on deadline day this Saturday, we're finding out news that Alvarez isn't starting, I may just think, fuck it, I'm pulling the trigger and doing that Awoniyi transferring now. Do it now. Because, why wait? Brighton is a good fixture at home. It is. Brighton can see goals. Nottingham Forest are good at home. Why not? It's a -4. Who cares? And I think that mindset of try and sort out your team as soon as possible rather than waiting around, because by game week 14 it would be then, rather than taking a -8, it'd be just another -4 to then get rid of Nketiah, bring in Semenyo, and then taking out Luiz and bringing in Mbeumo for his nice run of fixtures. Now, obviously, by game week 18, I've got 2 players that play that day, or don't play more specifically, in Mbeumo and Man City, but who cares? The players that I got covering are perfectly capable of doing all right. I can play a 5-4-1 formation where, okay, some of the players are clashing, i.e. Kabore versus Semenyo, but looking at it here, 2 players out of, I mean, my maths is terrible, 2 players out of 13. So actually, yeah, I've got a full 11 still to play in Game Week 18. And what am I missing from Man City? Liverpool at home, all right, yeah, I'm predicting a 3-1, 3-2 between these two. But the way they're both talking at the moment, it sounds like it's going to end up 0-0. Well, what do you expect from a 12:30 kickoff? And it's Tottenham at home. It's Aston Villa away. This is Man City's fixtures. I'm not saying they won't win. They're tough fixtures. And Alvarez at the moment, who has been just quite literally near doing absolutely... I mean, what is it being? 1 assist in the last 5 or 6 fixtures, give or take? Let's have a look here. So... Alvarez right now. So this is his. So we got a goal against Brighton at home, blank assist. Prior to that, he blanked against Arsenal. He got 8 points against Wolves. Okay, well, he's had 1, 2, 3 attacking returns in his last 7, 8 fixtures. Actually, that's not too bad. That's actually pretty good. I think maybe now could be the time, as Brian made the point, to jump off that Man City team and start slowly planning. I think from my point of view, the only, at this point here, the issues with this team would just be then Matty Cash, who again isn't a desperate sell. Martinelli again isn't a desperate sell. And pretty much it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm still relatively happy with my goalkeeper. I still think I've got a decent combination in Areola and Leno. Even though I'm more than happy to play Leno on a more regular basis, because Leno is more consistently bringing in the save points, whereas Areola is just falling flat. I mean, Fulham's upcoming fixtures, Wolves at home, it's all right. It's nothing horrific. Liverpool away, not brilliant. Then Nottingham Forest, West Ham, not too bad. But Areola, you know, he's got Burnley, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Fulham. You know, we can just swap and change. Even the Eze move that was brought up last night could be a smart way to jump onto the Crystal Palace talisman. You know, he's 6.2 million. If you feel that, do you know what? In my specific case, Martinelli just isn't performing at the moment, but Eze now, you know, Crystal Palace have picked up a bit of pace. Their next few fixtures, Luton away, it's okay, nothing special. But then West Ham away, good fixture. Bournemouth at home, 2 good fixtures. Guaranteed to start. He's on penalties. He's the talisman. Why not? I mean, Liverpool, Man City are awful fixtures, but at that point, it could be a case of, right then, let's jump on Palmer. Who, by which point, Palmer has got starting his good run of fixtures. Or even though I think that in game week 14, his good run of fixtures starts, because Brighton at home is a good fixture. Man United away, nah. I still think Chelsea have a very good chance of beating Man United, but you know, that game is, off the top of my head, 1-1. But then, like I said, Everton, Sheffield United, Wolves, Crystal Palace. You know, this chat last night about Palmer, which again, I reiterate, was the most confusing. I think it confused most people, to be honest with you. Because like I said to Jason, like, all I want to hear is just admit that you brought him in for the price rise. That's it. I see Watkins went up in price last night. That's another 0.1 for Jason in the bank. Brilliant. But yeah, just what does the woman say in Peep Show that had sexual relations with Mark? Come on, Mark, tell the truth. Well, actually, Natalie, you, I did say no. But anyway, yeah, that's what we want to hear from Jason. Just tell the truth. You brought in Palmer because you wanted to get the price rise. That's it, done. And he's a good player for a good team. And certainly Palmer is somebody that I'm looking at for Sky, for argument's sake. Definitely an individual that I am looking for at Sky. And yeah, I think that, I'm kind of in a place now where, as Jason said last night, we're a game week. Well, I said it, but he just reaffirmed it. We're a game week 10. We're a game week 13. We're slowly now coming into that Christmas period where everything is going to be quick, fast, and furious. As we look through the fixtures here for a split second, once I come off this screen here, you have this game week 13 on the 25th of November. Then it's we've got all the way to the Monday fixture. Then it's on to the 2nd of December, and then I'm pretty certain, it's like the following weekend, weekday. We then got weekday fixtures. So that quick turnaround there of these particular teams. So game week 14 and 15 game week 14, 15 and 16 is a very quick turnaround for the smaller squads. So in game week 14, 15 and 16 for say the likes of Arsenal, Nketiah will be starting one of those matches. We know this. Aston Villa, it's an absolute guarantee that the big guns like Watkins, Louise are definitely going to be playing those three fixtures. Matty Cash, on the other hand, Diaby, I think they're at risk of rotation. Brentford guaranteed and Mbeumo playing. Brighton, well, you wouldn't be touching them anyway because they've been rotational all the time. Burnley, we're not even looking at. Chelsea, they're fine. Man United, Everton, Sheffield United, they're going to be pretty much playing the same team every single week. Crystal Palace, like I said, you wouldn't be looking at them anyway, with Liverpool, Man City and Bournemouth in that period. Forget it. Everton, forget it. Fulham, whatever. Liverpool, we know who's going to be playing for them. Salah. But Tsimikas, though, on the other hand, there's a chance that he could be rested in one of those fixtures against either Sheffield United, Crystal Palace or Man United. I would probably say it's probably going to be the Man United game if Klopp is looking at shutting up shop and playing Gomez. Man City, again, all over the place, but we know that Haaland is definitely going to be playing those three fixtures against Aston Villa, Luton and Crystal Palace. Man United, no one's got. Newcastle, again, there's not going to be much rotation in that whatsoever. They're down to the bare bones anyway, so any Newcastle assets you got, you're going to be fine. It's just more looking at the injury news as it comes through. Nottingham Forest, like I say, it's guaranteed the same players going to be playing. Sheffield United. Spurs is another one. Again, don't need to worry about them. Sun's definitely going to be playing all those matches. West Ham, you don't need to worry about, and the same with Wolves as well. So really, the teams that we're kind of you are going to be worried about are basically Arsenal, pretty much, because they have got, and Liverpool, I suppose, because these teams have got the depth in squad to be able to rotate in certain positions. We know that, unfortunately, the likes of Saka are going to be forced to be playing every single second of every single minute of every game. But overall, it's this team here, for argument's sake, none of those players other than Cash right now, other than Cash, Alvarez, are and Martinelli. So Alvarez, Martinelli and Cash are the only three in that team have got issues. But if news comes out that Botman could be returning, but am I right in saying that Botman could be out for a while because he went in for surgery or something? So yeah, but the players that I'm going to be replacing him with, Alvarez for Awoniyi. Well, Awoniyi's going to be, I'd like to think he'd play all the games, seeing as he is like one of their better strikers. And Mbeumo's definitely going to be playing for Brentford no matter what. And yeah, I think certainly for game week 14, I'm set up pretty well moving into these quick turnover fixtures. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And then, like I say, when it comes round to the blank for game week 18 for Man City and Brentford, well, I'm just having to bench 2 players. And yeah, I'm happy with that. There's no issue with that whatsoever. So yeah, all good. Anyhow, on that note, let's just get out of here. As ever, thanks for supporting this show. If you are then watching this publicly and you are brand new around here, enjoy the content, make sure you are subscribing and make sure you are liking the video. On that note, I'm going to see you later.